Good morning. Today is Tuesday, September 8th, 2020. In about 1 hour, we have 10 fourth graders walking through that door to begin the 2020-2021 school year. I am so excited to be documenting this experience with each and every one of you. This is a different first day, right? Nothing feels the same, but I'm so excited and can't wait to bring you along for the ride. It is now 4:17. So you know when you are so insanely busy actually doing the first day of school that you forget to film anything during the first day of school? But I do go back at the end of the day and give you a recap and share a little bit about what happened, how the day went. So let's do that now. Students just left and went home. What a whirlwind the first day was. An amazing day. Let me walk you through what it looked like. I have it all set up for tomorrow, which is the first day of school for the second batch of kids. We are running a hybrid model, so I get to do the first day again tomorrow for our second batch of students. So let me show you what it looked like when kids walked in this morning because I didn't have time to do it this morning. So students walked in this morning and my 4 balloon was hung up and the room looked just like this. On students' desks this morning was a letter written from me, an individual letter for all of my students, getting them excited and welcomed for the upcoming school year. They have an About Me paper that they filled out and a lanyard that goes on their mask. Lastly, a pencil. Students are sitting in every other seat alphabetically, so all of the seats that are currently empty were filled of students today, and all of the desks that are currently with items on it are the students who are starting the first day of school tomorrow. Also, sorry if I look like a sweaty mess. I just did the first day. Students came in this morning, they got their morning work done, they turned those in, and then we got started with the day. I was so blown away by how students were handling this entire situation. Students came in, and clearly some of them were nervous, but everyone had masks on, everyone was feeling really prepared, and it was kind of this vibe of we're in this together, right? I was modeling that I was wearing a mask. Students came in, we were sitting far apart, and they were getting done what they needed to get done. At no point today did I feel unsafe, right? Obviously, we don't know who is coming in with what, but I felt like the protocols and the safety measures that we had in place kept me feeling safe, and I think students felt that too. We were frequently washing hands, we were frequently taking mask breaks, we were making sure we were taking care of our bodies, but altogether it went smoothly in the sense of health and safety. So let me now walk you through what the day looked like. The first day of school is always about relationships. Relationships are at the core of this work. So for me, ensuring that I am doing everything I can to establish strong relationships with students on the first day is really important. For this year, we added in health and safety as being major priorities for the first day of school, and also routines and procedures. So from the moment students walked in on the first day, I had these slides posted so that they know exactly what is expected of them. And this is something that's going to continue as we move through the school year. So I have my little Bitmoji with his mask on, and students were told that they needed to come on in and find the desk with their name on it. They needed to put their bags to the right of them on the floor because we are not going to be using lockers this year. Students were expected to wash their hands, keep all their supplies in their bag because we were going to get to supplies later in the morning, and then they can start to work on the pennant that I showed you earlier that's on their desk, their morning work, and I always remind them to take their time because these are actually going to be hung up and they need to look decent. After students had some time to get situated and get acclimated to the room, I got everyone started with our class Huddle, which is a morning meeting that we start every single day with. So on the first day, I obviously acknowledged the fact that I am a brand new teacher to this school, and for many of them who have been at this school for 4 years now, I am brand new to them. So who is this dude in a mask? Right? Trying to just embrace the fact that we're wearing masks, and instead of avoiding it and pretending like it's not happening, let's just acknowledge it right from the get-go. So, hello, I am Mr. Cohen. I gave an introduction to myself. After I introduce myself, I go into some of my favorite things. I find that by taking the spotlight off of the students to start, it helps ease some anxieties and nerves. So I want to get some of the introductions out of the way. I introduce myself as someone who loves The Ohio State University. I went to Ohio State. This is a picture of me on the football field. This is a picture of me with Brutus the Buckeye, our mascot. I talk about my love for Cleveland and all of our Cleveland sports teams, how I grew up in this city and how I'm so proud to be a Clevelander. I then share with students my love for Kit Kats, for traveling, for Mitchell's ice cream. If you are from Cleveland, you understand what I am talking about. Goldfish. I talk about YouTube. I rip off the Band-Aid that I have a YouTube channel. Many of them have already stalked me, found me, know where I am, and I'm sure watching this video. So what's up, students, if you are watching? It's something that I am proud of, that I love to share with my students because so many of them are into YouTube as well. And I also really enjoy photography. We then went into a game of this or that. Typically, this looks like students moving to one side of the room or the other, but we just played stand up and sit down because of all of the restrictions that we have, obviously. So we talked about stand up if you like vanilla, sit down if you like chocolate, stand up if you like reading, sit down if you like math, stand up if you prefer to play video games, sit down if you prefer to play outside. And we went through all of these different ones. And this was an awesome way to learn a little bit about students without having to put them on the spot. As a student myself, it always made me nervous to have to speak in front of the entire group on the first day of school. But this really takes the spotlight off of students and kind of just, it puts them on an equal playing field with one another. So we're just going to stand up and sit down. I'm not asking you to talk in front of the group or anything like that. We will build our way to that point. But this was a way for students to still learn a little bit about their peers without having to feel pressured to speak in front of everyone. So we finished playing the game. Had all these different examples, and then I introduced my favorite celebration. I don't know about you, but in my classroom, I take celebrations very seriously, and one of my favorites is 2 claps and a dab. So after this activity, I introduced 2 claps and a dab, and this is what it looked like. All right, everybody, you did such an amazing job with that activity. I want to celebrate how amazing you all did with 2 claps and a dab. So what's going to happen is I'm going to say, I want to give all of us 2 claps and a dab on 3 for such an amazing job. I will then count 1, 2, 3. We will clap our hands 2 times and then dab, just like Betty White is displaying. I then share with my students that I have a secret. And this is something that I have done now for the past couple of years, and it is inspired by Rita Pearson's TED Talk. I tell my students that they are part of the best class ever. And this is the message I share with my students. So my friends, I was handpicked to work at this school, right? There were a bunch of other people who applied and they picked me. You were also handpicked to be in this class. And we are all magically here in a way that the universe is telling us that this is the best class ever. You are the best students. I am the best teacher, and together we are the best of the best. So when you walk down the hallways of this building, you need to walk like you are part of the best class ever. When you are in the cafeteria, you need to act like you are part of the best class ever. When you are out at the playground at recess, you need to model and be leaders like you are from the best class ever. Everyone is watching you. The adults are watching you. The other students are watching you. And you have to, every minute of every day, show everyone why you are part of the best class ever. That's a message I share with students on the first day of school, because I want to be their champion. And Rita Pearson in her TED Talk talks about this. I'll go ahead and link it down below if you have not seen it, but students deserve champions for them. And if I can be a champion for my students, it's what I'm going to be. So I want to build them up. I want to get them excited about doing the right thing. I want to get them in the mindset of being leaders and demonstrating what strong leadership can look like. And I think that's really important. This year, I also shared a second secret with my students, and it's the fact that I was feeling nervous. I shared that I was feeling very nervous for the first day of school because I'm new and it's my first day. I'm also feeling nervous because I have to wear a mask, and the mask is really uncomfortable and I'm sweating and it's itchy. And I also am always nervous on the first day because I'm meeting new people. And if you're also feeling nervous, that's okay. You're not alone. And I think it's really important for students to hear that. I think it's important because they're all feeling nervous, right? The first day of school is so anxiety provoking. So if I let them know that their teacher is also feeling this way, hopefully it makes them feel like they are not alone. Following our morning meeting, I talked with students briefly about the importance of wearing a mask at school. We then went over a tour of our classroom where I showed students what they can and cannot touch. I went over what the procedures will look like for the bathroom, for pencils, and I talked about the black tape on the floor. On students' desks, on the front 2 legs, I think I saw this somewhere on Instagram, I actually put 2 pieces of black tape to mark the spot on the floor. So all I have to do now is remind them to put their front desk legs on the black tape, and our desks will stay in these organized lines, making sure that they are 6 feet apart, meeting all of the safety measures and protocols set forth by our district. After we went over our desks and different systems and procedures around the classroom, we talked about expectations, and I had students on a piece of paper split their paper up into a grid. And we talked about what they want to see, hear, do, and feel in this classroom. I had students close their eyes and imagine what the most perfect classroom in the entire world looks like. In that perfect classroom, what are things that you would see? What are things that you would hear? What would people be doing, and how would people be feeling? We then took all of their ideas after about 15 minutes of writing, compiled them up on the board, and had a really awesome conversation about the community that we want to be putting together in this space. After lunch and recess, we got together and played a game of Kahoot. It was all about how well they know Mr. Cohen. I asked them things like, what is my first name? What is my age? Where am I from? Things like that. I then wrote students a letter sharing a little bit more about me and asking them to share a little bit more about them. So on the front was a letter that was written by me. On the back was a place for students to write a letter back. So this was a really awesome way for students to get to share anything personal that they wanted to share just with my eyes only. And last but not least, we ended the day with a good old game of put a finger down. So students put 10 fingers up, and if any of these different things applied to them, they put their finger down. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit about what the first day of school looked like for me. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you do not miss out on future videos. I so appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.